Right, folks, let's get straight to it. So today I'm just gonna be doing something sort of similar-ish to what Shelley did in her last project. She actually gave me a good idea for something I've wanted to do for a while, but there was just certain ways I didn't know how to go about something that I wanted in the end, and I'll come to that sort of later on. So watch to the end of the project so you see these, and let me know in the comments what you think about them. So there's no sort of set size. I'm just going with, it says 30 centimetres there, but then when you add the top and the bottom on, it comes to about 32 centimetres in the end. So my sketching here is just to give me a rough idea, get a bit of scale. Doesn't work that well sometimes, but nevertheless I like sort of doing the sort of sketching and stuff. So for this project I'm using 6x1 pine, or 1x6 pine, you guys in the States and Canada tend to say. What do you call it in Europe? If any Europe are watching, let me know what you call it over there. So I've got an idea now in my head what I'm sort of wanting, the sort of design on the front of it. Now, I like sort of old arts and crafts antique furniture, and I just wanted to put sort of an arts and crafts sort of, I wouldn't say gothic, you know, a bit of that sort of flavour of design on it, but with a bit of a modern twist. So let's see how I do this. I mean, I'm not no, as you know, I'm not no furniture, or I'm not no superb A1 maker or any. I'm just an hobbyist, and I'm just like you guys. So if I'm going to have a pop at this, please go out and have a pop at these. And if you want to know any details about these, please ask and I'll get back to you. Now, was there mistakes on this project? Of course there was. There was loads of mistakes on this project. It weren't 100%, but it was very passable, and it looks really nice. And I still think these would be a really good seller, you know, if you went to batch them out and you wanted to sell them. The first ones are always time consuming, but that's like everything you do. So the next time I sort of make these, or if somebody orders a set off me, no doubt they'll be really quick to make. It's just like we're filming and then we're working out what sort of sizes I'm after, and that it was just a little bit time consuming, this project. So I'm just marking a little stop here on the miter saw. Now the sort of width for these 6x1 boards where they're playing down, where I get them, are 14.5 centimetres, and I'm going to be mitering them, so the top and the bottom are going to be 14.5 centimetres squared. I don't know what that is in inches. I'm sure if you guys can Google it, that work in inches, you'd easily find it out. I do apologise. It's just with this, it was just easier to do it in metric. So my apologies for that, but I know you understand. So just go in. Now, when you've got the stop block at the back there, just make sure, you know, you're safe. You don't lift that blade up too quick, and, you know, to avoid kickback. So that's 14.5 centimetres. So they're spot on. So they're now squared to that board. And when I run the miters down the sides of these, it all should marry up. Which it doesn't 100%, I'll be honest with you, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just marking up now the thickness. And I'm just going in with just marking. I love this bit, this marking off bit. You know, I could quite happily sit there all day just marking bits of wood up. Strange, aren't I? What do you find the most therapeutic thing you do in woodworking? You know, a lot of people say sanding and that kind of stuff. I quite like this, marking up. I find it, I don't know, you know, just getting sort of to try to, it's like a challenge in it to get everything sort of spot on. So all these guys that do this for a living, and, you know, getting these measurements spot on every time, as soon as they look at a board, they get it spot on. Take me out to you. It's a skill. It is a skill. So the first one I'm doing here is gonna, even though I'm gonna use it in the build, it's gonna act as my template. So I'm using double-sided sticky tape here. First time I've used it, and I'm really impressed with it. I was impressed so much I couldn't get the boards back apart, but I did in the end. But wow, it was super sticky, this stuff. So I can see why some of the guys who recommended it, thank you very much. I'll be using this on a lot of projects. Like I say, first time I used it, and it does really, it sticks really well. I sort of didn't need to apply all that pressure. Now that top board looks a bit rough, but you'll see why I'm using it. So I'm just going through now with a forcing a bit, just touching the board underneath, just to give me a gauge of where I need to drill them boards. Now I know there'll be other ways of doing this. It's just that the way I was doing it on here, now I'm just going through where they're marked off. I've got a sacrificial board underneath there to sort of prevent tear out, but tear out did occur. Now I had to play about with the speeds on the drill press there, and I found out round about for this size of forcing bit, which was, I think it was about a 25mm bit. I'll just double check that. I think the speed was round about 500, which seemed to work the best. You know, too fast and it were sort of going like burning, and too slow, it just wasn't having it. Now the wood was sort of waxy anyway, and it was sort of clogging the forcing a bit up, but when I got it to around about 500, it seemed to work the best, sort of like in between. So I'm just running the pencil down here. Now, in hindsight, I would have done this slightly different looking at the end design. I would have put more, this was an opportunity here to put a little bit more detail into it, which I missed out on. But it doesn't matter. So I'm just going in with my jigsaw. I'm getting better with the jigsaw now, the more I'm practicing with it. And this sort of electric jigsaw has took some of the, you know, where I'm worried about cords and stuff, took that away. So if there's any people that want to put an electric jigsaw on their Christmas list this year for the partners to buy them, get on it now and make sure you hint accordingly, because I can't recommend them enough. And, you know, I've got a DeWalt one here, but there's other brands. So I'm just going over everything now. I'm just chamfering everything and cleaning up the backside where there was a bit of tear out on the which will be the inside. This seemed to take ages, like what I was doing here. This was a bit, I wouldn't say soul destroying, nothing soul destroying, is it, in woodworking, but it was, out of the project, this was the boring bit for me. There was just quite a lot of it, and I had to, because it obviously, you know, it's a trim router, but I had to just be super careful with that bit. So here I'm now at the table saw. The table saw is a job site saw, a DeWalt one. And I just want to get practice, you know, a mitre in here, so it's a bit of practice. And the last project I did didn't come out, you know, as well as I wanted it to. A bit critical on myself. It was fine. Everybody said it was fine, but, you know, I wasn't happy with it. So I know it's only a job site saw, and I'm not going to get super accurate cuts with what I do, but what I can do is try and set my tools up as best as I can. And here I've got it to a bang on 45, and I did check it with my Japanese 45 thing, what I've got, you know, my square, which has got the 45 edge on it, and that was perfect as well. So I'm just running it through everything now, giving them a mitre on each edge, and just checking it, making sure. I'm just trying to make sure everything is sort of spot on. And it's all about practice. Just keep looking and learning. I can't wait for the day that I get something sort of spot on with these mitres. You know, it's like a challenge in it to get it right. So this is going to be the lid and the top. I'm just cutting like a rebating rabbit, or whatever you guys in the States call them. In Canada, we call them rebates, I think. I think it's called a rebate. Let me know if it's not. But I used a scrap piece of wood just to get me sizes and how I wanted it right, and, you know, to sort of like dial it into the right sizes. So I'm just lining everything up here. And I'm just going overboard with the blue tape. Probably don't need as much tape as I'm putting on here, but, you know, I was so engrossed in getting these miters right, I just overdone it with the tape. It took me ages to get the tape off in the end. There was no way that was coming apart with all that tape. So just making sure everything's spot on again, or spot on as my sort of skill level allows at the moment. So I'm just going in here with glue. This is Type Bond 2, so it's an interior, mainly used for interiors. You know, it's not a waterproof glue by any means. And just get a good spread on all the joints. I love this bit, putting it together just to see how well you've actually done with the miters. And I'm there looking, you know what? And there, as I was doing that, I was really happy with that. I mean, no, they're not perfect, but you know what? They're okay. They're not bad. It's a level up to the last miters I did, and I'm well happy with it. So more practice, and I'll make sure I get them even better next time. So that little mark there is for the height for the splines I'm going to be cutting into this box. So I just want to go halfway through the thickness of that 6x1. I'm just using my spline jig that I made. I'm going to be making another one of these, a better version of this. This was, you know, you've probably seen it on the video. It works okay, but I'm not 100% happy with it. It was the first time I ever made one, so... but I've seen a few more designs that I'd like to do, and, you know, it'll make a good video as well, so... And if it helps anybody out there that want to do this kind of thing, so be it. I'm always being conscious here of where my fingers are and stuff like that. My spline jig, by the way, is all put together with dowels and stuff like that, so there's no metal at all in that jig. So the blade, I know the blade's going to be safe going through the wood. So this is an old piece of antique tabletop I had, a piece of mahogany, which I've had for absolutely ages. I had it in my warehouse stored for about 2-3 years. Never got round to using it. I thought I'd use it on an old piece of furniture or something, and it never did, and it's just been stood. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to start using it. I'll make some projects out of this. It is a big sort of tabletop. It's solid mahogany and it's good quality as well. So I mean, how much would you pay for a bit of mahogany that size? So I'm just making the splines here, nice and easy. I had that dialed in sort of perfect, so I know what it was. I think they worked out about 2.5mm them splines. So just cutting them down to sort of more manageable size for the slots. Another good thing to buy your partners for Christmas is one of these Japanese saws. And I'm just going in with some glue here. I think I've overdone it a bit. I tend to overdo it a bit with the glue with these. Let me know what you think, because I just got this vibe. You know, it seemed like I was wiping loads of glue off. They went in perfect, them size. So even from the last time, I've learned about sizing them splines up better as well. Yeah, am I putting too much glue on? I don't know. And now I'm just trimming them back. They're all dried. They've been left for a while, and they're all dried up. Just using my little flush trim saw. There's something oddly satisfying about that as well, doing that with a saw. Just keep your fingers well away. So I'm standing up to a 240 grit here. I have already been over it with, I think it was a 120 or a 150. and then I'm doing the 180 and 240. I'm going to leave these, they're not being stained because I want to use them splines as a bit of decoration. So on the bottom here, I'm putting some feet. Now I've screwed the bottom on, so I'll cover the screw holes with these little pad feet. You can pick these up off the internet. Stick really well. And remote control lights, so you get where I'm going now with this. So Shelley made the lanterns in the last video, so this is my version of lanterns. I loved their lanterns, I thought they were absolutely superb. And I'm just making a version myself just to see what they come out like. So I'm just going over with a clear lacquer just to give them a bit of a vibe. And here they are finished. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now the cutting I did with the decoration there on there is not 100%, but it's totally passable. And there they are lit up. Now the remote control, so, and you can have different settings, different timers, sort of that kind of stuff. I love them. You can take the top off. The top's not screwed down, so you can change the batteries in the lights. And here we go. Boom. Beautiful. I love them. Let me know in the comments what you think. I really like them. They sort of, you know, we use these already in the house since I've done the video. But thanks for watching, and Shelley's got a video coming out Wednesday, so please stay tuned and make sure you subscribe. You're all amazing. I love you all. So on to the next one. Bye bye.